All right, guys, good evening. Sorry about the wind. This is my final mental health walk and talk video for June. I committed to every day for June, 30 days. I've done it, I've showed up, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've had so much great feedback. So I wanted to sign off tonight, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to be doing daily videos. I might just switch tracks. I've got a few ideas with what I want to do, but I definitely want to do more on my YouTube. I said I wasn't looking to get anything out of it, but I've had a lot more interaction on my YouTube. The subscribers have gone up, and I just enjoy this kind of walk and talk content. It's the first time in a while it's actually been a bit nippy. My son sprung it on me tonight that he wants to go football training. He's not played football in over a year because he started jiu-jitsu, but he's doing his GCSE PE. He's doing his GCSEs next year, PE, and you've got to choose 3 sports that they can mark you on. They wouldn't include jiu-jitsu, so he's going back to football. So I literally rushed from work, picked him up. He had no shin pads, had to borrow some shin pads, and here we are. Anyway, I'm gonna get this done, and then they're still doing like some warm-up drills. I'll be having a match soon. I'm gonna watch that. So I wanted to round up this one tonight. Lots of people have said it's really helped them as they're going through a tough time, and I just think that, like, when you look at like a walk is so good for mental health, right? I've been doing so much more walking in the last 8 to 10 weeks because I've taken ownership of the dogs, more so because my dad's not been well, and I've loved it. Sometimes I'll go without a phone and I'll run, and sometimes I'll take a couple of them and a couple of dogs, and I'll check in with my clients, and I just love it. There's a great quote by Mark Twain. It said, if you feel shit and you go for a walk and you still feel shit, just go for another one. You don't feel worse after going for a walk, right? We all feel good because it's a great state changer. And I always say this, right? Sometimes the last thing we want to do after a long day, if you sat down in an office or something like that, is go for a walk, because you feel like the life's been sucked out of you, right, on the screen all day. And people say, I've got no energy to go for a walk. No, you feel because you've been indoors all day. Your circadian rhythm is out of whack. You haven't moved. But if you go for a walk, within 5-10 minutes, you feel lighter. And here's an example of how walking is such a great state changer. If you've got really young kids, right? Remember when my kids were really young, my boys, and we'd say, right, we're going to go out for a walk now. No, I don't want to go for a walk. Maybe they're like 5 and 6 or 4 and 5. You get them all kitted on, loads of resistance. No, we're going for a walk. And then within 5 minutes of them being at like the local park or the local lakes, they're running around with sticks in the fresh air, having a great time, jumping in puddles. Way! Do you know what I mean? Because it's changed their state, and that is what a walk does. And obviously as well, what a simple thing, a walk and talk, just talking it out, sharing your problems, I believe really helps. And like I said, I've done this for me, and if anyone can get some value from it, then great. And I believe that's happened because people have messaged me. Oh, I just found 10p on the floor there. God bless that. Thank you, universe. And so yeah, I want to keep it going. And you know, I know that you'll always get full transparency from me, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'll just be really honest and tell you how it is, and it helps me. And so I was going to do a post on the socials tonight, because we are actually now at the halfway point of the year, and you'll see a lot of people online. They'll be like, oh, you know, these gurus halfway through the year, how's it gone? They're listing all their wins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be completely transparent with you tonight, and I want you guys to get involved as well. 5 wins and 5, I'm not going to say losses, 5 struggles that I've had this year. So actually we're gonna start with the tough stuff. Okay, so the 5 struggles, obviously number 1 is my dad's cancer. He's had radiation. He got diagnosed in Feb or March, but he's been struggling for a long time. And as I speak to you right now on June the 30th, he's in a very bad way. He's had his radiation. I don't think it's helped. I think it's made him a lot worse. He said this made him a lot worse. There's no change. His energy is sapped, and he's pretty much dying in front of me on the sofa every day. And it's not nice to see. That's just where we are. He'll have some scans in a couple of weeks, and we'll see if it's done its job. Am I confident? No, because I live with him and I can't see any improvement. All I can see is him suffering and getting worse, and it's not very nice to see. So that's been number 1, the biggest struggle. Second biggest struggle has been my partner Becky. She had this blood clot in her eye. Second time she's had it. They told her at the start of the year, you'd never be through any training again. This is a person who is as into fitness as me, and her identity is based around fitness. She does a lot of calisthenics, you know, the push-ups, the pull-ups, the ring dips, the muscle-ups, all that jazz. wasn't able to do it. It is on the mend. She has defied the medics and she has healed, but at the minute it's a very slow process coming back. She's not doing any handstand walks, and she has to take it very easy with the training. That's been tough, just being with her and seeing how low she is because of it, and rightly so, because you take my training away from me, I'd be exactly the same. Number 3, full disclosure, one of the biggest struggles this year has been getting my new Healthy Happy Dad venture off the ground. Now, don't get me wrong, it is off the ground, but it hasn't grown as quick as I'd like it, and I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that, because sometimes if you build stuff really quickly, you don't have the solid foundations. I've got a long-term vision for it, and I believe that the challenges I'm facing now are just to build that resilience, because I'm going to build this brand. I'm going to build this Healthy Happy Dad brand, this Healthy Happy Dad movement, but it has been challenging. The 4th frustration is I've burnt a shitload of money on Facebook ads. Facebook ads have changed. They're constantly changing. Years and years ago, when I came into the industry and went online, Facebook ads was just a license to print money. These days, there's a lot more competition out there. It's very hard. I've been burned. I've ran ads to webinars and have no one turned up. I've ran ads to application forms and just had loads of idiots just fill out the form. It's been highly frustrating, to the point where, there's a few times I wanted to literally smash my laptop up, and it's been challenging. And the 5th one is like where my dad's been having his radiation. I haven't really been able to spend as much time every other weekend with my girlfriend. We had a lovely routine last year where every other weekend I'd be with her, but obviously since my dad's been having radiation, I haven't really been able to leave him on his own. And we had this nice routine of, sometimes we go to the pub every other Friday, go out for a meal on a Saturday, and it feels that we've been together just over 2 years, and the first 2 years were just like, it was amazing, like finding somebody that is your soulmate and you're completely on the same page in terms of your interests and all that jazz. And then going on city breaks together, and then she moved over to the gym that I coach out of last year, and we started working together, and it's just been high after high after high after high. And this year we've been in the pit together, and I just say to her, look, we've had highs, now can we go through the lows and stick together? And it's been a real test, and it's a test that we're walking arm in arm. But those are the real low points, the struggles so far this year. It's been a really tough year, toughest year of my life so far. But let's get into the things that the 5 things that are the 5 biggest wins. And I'm going to do them in reverse order. So the 5th one's a bit of a random one, is, and I'm stood in front of it now, is I changed my car for a van this year. So I've got a lovely Mercedes Citan van. I used to drive a van 20 years ago when I was a self-employed courier. But I promised my son, if he showed as much passion for his mountain biking as he had been, that I was so fed up of just taking wheels off to get in the car, and I ain't going to do a bike rack, and I'm not even going to talk about that now, that I would change the car for a van. And I've got a mountain bike too, and so an opportunity came up early on in the year, and I changed the car for a van. And it was something that was on my list, but it was probably a little bit too far down that list. But an opportunity came up, and I changed the car for a van, and I'm absolutely loving it because we can get both of our bikes in it. And that brings me on to the second one, is that I've literally fallen back in love with mountain biking. I enjoyed it anyway, but we go to a place most weekends now where I do the trails. My son's off doing the jumps. Gosh, it's raining now. My son's off doing the jumps and I'm doing the trails, and I've absolutely loved it. And I said to somebody the other day, I would go without him. That's how much I really enjoy it. I'm absolutely loving it, and it's really developed the bond between the two of us. My battery's going to go soon, I can really just tell. So the third big win for me this year, oh gosh, this bloody weather, on top of those first 2, and I hope this battery doesn't go, is I'm now 148 days alcohol free. I did have alcohol at the end of January, so I've had alcohol this year. I had 2 weekends at the end of Jan where I drank it, and something inside of me just said, nah, don't fall back into these old patterns, Tregs. Okay, don't fall back into these old patterns, because actually I'm trying to achieve something with a Healthy Happy Dad brand, and drinking alcohol every other weekend just wouldn't work. And yes, it's been sad that me and Becky haven't been able to hang out every other weekend, but we've been on this non-alcohol journey together, and actually that's kind of helped. So my battery died as I was walking, and it also started to rain, so I'm going to edit this and I'm going to finish this sat in the van just waiting for my son to finish his football. And so we were on a I was on about the 4 kind of wins, the 4 kind of good results from 2026 so far. And the 4th one, and it just ties in basically with the fact that I'm not boozing, is I don't think I've ever enjoyed my training so much and been as consistent with it. And I won't lie, I am probably overtraining a little bit, simply because it's really helping with my mental health with my dad, and not drinking on the weekends. You know, the recovery is so much better. So I'm really enjoying my training, and I've really learned this year that age really shouldn't be a limiting factor. I mean, I'm only 47, I'm not like 77, and that lifestyle is everything. So huge win for me is my absolute consistency with my training. But the biggest win is I'm actually I'm probably 12 kilograms lighter than I was at the start of the year. Now granted, I put a bit of weight on at Christmas like we all do, but I'm currently sat at 77 kilos, which is the lightest I've ever been in my career. I think I was 77 kilos when I got into my career, but I was only running, and at the time I wasn't doing as much weight training as now. So I've got a totally different physique, and I'm actually gonna try and push it as far as I can, get to down to about 73, 74, and get a 6-pack. It's not so much about the 6-pack, it's about the discipline and the resilience and the habits that you build on the way. And so I'm probably about 8 weeks away from that, and I'm really enjoying the journey. There's no plans to have any alcohol, simply because, like, we're going to be in the woods with my dad for a while. You know, we don't know what's going to happen, but there's no plans this year. All plans are kind of cancelled, and it's just one day at a time. So yes, this year has been extremely challenging, but it's also been it's been very liberating. I'm learning a lot about myself. But, you know, for as much as there are struggles and as much as there are challenging times, there's always things that we can celebrate. And like I said to you, in the 5 things I've listed, just like getting this van has just changed my life. Like getting the van and changed my life, and knowing that me and my son can throw the bikes in it every weekend and just go off mountain biking, it has been amazing. And like, I was into mountain biking as a kid, and I've got a mountain bike, and now to be able to just go off every weekend with my son and hit the trails has been an absolute game changer. And that's been a contribution as well to getting me leaner, because I'm doing more activity on the weekend, and then the no alcohol, the consistency with the training, and this has led me to get into really to the shape of my life. And honestly, this is not to impress, it's not to show off, but this is keeping me sane right now with everything going on with my dad, and trying to get those breakthroughs with my new brand as well. So guys, I'm going to sign off. This is the final mental health walk and talk for June, although I am doing this in the van. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Please keep watching my stuff here on social media, and if you're on YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I'm going to be doing more on this channel.